Wait for Me. Written by Molly Cross. Pictures by Joe Matthew. Elmo and his friends lived on Sesame Street. Elmo was younger than all of his friends. Elmo was smaller than all of his friends. It was hard for him to keep up with them. Elmo could not run as fast as the others. He could not jump as far as the others. He could not play baseball at all. The bat was bigger than Elmo. One day, Ernie, Bert, Grover, and I went roller skating. Elmo went too. Suddenly, a bell rang. It was the ice cream truck. Everyone skated off to get some ice cream. "Hey!" Elmo cried. "Wait for me!" Grover skated back to Elmo. Grover, will help you. Hold on to my hand," he said, and off they went. Clickety-clack, lickety-split. Faster and faster they went. Then they hit a bump. Crash! They both fell down. "Wah! Wah!" went Elmo. "Oh, my goodness! Are you hurt?" asked Grover. "I have a boo-boo on my leg," cried Elmo. Grover looked and looked. At last, he found a tiny scratch. "Do not cry," said Grover. "We are near my house. We can go there and wash your scratch." On the way, they saw Ernie and Bert and me. We were eating ice cream, but the ice cream truck was gone. "Where were you?" I asked. "Helping Elmo," Grover said sadly. Ernie said, "We're going to ride our bikes now." "Do you want to come?" Bert asked Grover. "Oh, yes," said Grover. "After I take care of Elmo." Grover took Elmo to his bathroom. He washed Elmo's tiny scratch. He put a tiny bandage on it. Then he said to Elmo, "I am going biking now." Elmo said, "Me too." "No, Elmo, you are too little," said Grover. Elmo looked sad. "Will I be big enough tomorrow?" he asked. "I do not think so," said Grover. Grover took his bike outside. Elmo sadly watched Grover ride off. "Everybody is bigger than I am," said Elmo. "Everybody is faster and better at everything." "Not me," said a kind voice. It was Grover's grandpa. "I know how you feel, Elmo," he said. "But fun things can happen when you are left behind. How would you like to go to the zoo with me? I was going to ask Grover, but he went biking. How about it, Elmo?" Elmo began to smile. "Yes," he said happily. Elmo and Grandpa walked to the zoo. Elmo did not have to run to keep up. On the way, they stopped to look into store windows. They bought ice cream and listened to a band. Grandpa said, "People who rush miss things. We will take our time." At the zoo, they watched the seals get fed. Then Grandpa bought some peanuts.
Now let's feed the elephants,
he said. And they did. They saw all the animals. Then Grandpa said,
"Time to go home now."
"Take me home, Piggyback?" Elmo asked. Grandpa shook his head.
"No, Elmo,"
he said.
"I am just as tired as you are."
As soon as they got home, Grandpa sat down. He took off his shoes.
"Oh, that feels good,"
he said.
"You're just the right size to sit on my lap, Elmo. Come on up here," he said. "I will read you a story."
Elmo climbed up on Grandpa's lap. Grandpa read him the story of the 3 bears.
"And they lived happily ever after,"
said Grandpa. Just then, Grover came in.
"Who lived happily ever after?"
asked Grover. He was surprised to see Elmo in his grandpa's lap. "The 3 bears!" shouted Elmo. "And guess what? We saw real bears!" Now Grover was really surprised.
"What? Where did you see real bears?"
cried Grover. "At the zoo," said Elmo. Grover wailed,
"You went to the zoo without me?"
"We saw the zookeeper feed the seals,"
said Elmo.
"and we fed the elephants. Oh, we had so much fun. And we had an ice cream cone."
"What kind?"
Grover asked.
"Chocolate chip,"
said Elmo. Grandpa smiled at Grover.
"Did you have fun riding your bike?"
he asked.
"Oh, yes,"
said Grover.
"But I would like to go to the zoo too, Grandpa. Next time, please wait for me."